Okay, what's good? What's good? What is good? What is good? It's always so interesting to be in this space. Welcome back. Welcome if you're brand new, and welcome back if you're returning to the Working Class Gamer Podcast. I am your host, Director Warren, aka Stalin Warren, aka Imperial Gaming, whatever. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. This is episode 9 of the Working Class Gamer Podcast. And I've been doing a lot of reflecting today. Before I get into some of the things I've been reflecting on, let me kind of backtrack a little bit. I know it's been a while since our last episode, so I would be remiss, or whatever the proper term is, if I did not pay my respects to my friend, my brother. May you rest in peace, Tino. We lost a brother and a friend in the time that has passed between the last episode and now. He was just someone who graced us with his presence often, us being me and my lady. He was just a really kind and caring young man that was gonna grow into a well-to-do citizen. To be honest with you, just someone who was a great friend to have, an amazing confidant, someone who took interest in the people that he loved. And one of our last conversations was around this podcast. I was actually in the middle of outlining the last episode. And besides my girl, he's the only person I've ever had an in-depth conversation with about this podcast, as far as like what it is and the purpose it serves and where I want it to go. So, I just appreciate him. Especially in that moment, I appreciate him just giving me that space, because I wasn't trying to, I don't know. I was like outlining while he was, hanging out and chilling and stuff. And like, he just asked me about it, and I didn't want to but I knew he like actually was interested. So, yeah, but it's been a little tough. You know what I mean? It's been very tough. And I just want to say your name over the airwaves, just thank you. You've done a lot for me. A lot for the people, that love you, and we miss you dearly. So, with that out of the way, you know what I'm saying? The last episode was the first episode to get over 100 views. So I feel like people are listening. And if you have someone, and then I'm just, I'm going to leave this. If you have someone close to you that you care about, you know what I'm saying? Just let them know that you care about them. Let them know you appreciate them, whether it's a friend you made via Discord or on an online game of Call of Duty, or somebody in real life that you're close to. Let them know that you love and appreciate them, because you just don't know. And that is the unfortunate reality of life. I'm still processing, so if I know I'm going to be watching this later and think I sound a little weird, but in the same way I explained to him, I outlined, and the rest of it is a freestyle. I remember telling him that. So, yeah, RIP. But yeah, that was someone I played a lot of video games with in this room. We played a lot of video games together: college football, Madden, racing games, handing the controller back and forth for Call of Duty. Gaming at its core, I feel like we have to remember, is about community. And so, I remind myself through this, this podcast, this broadcast, whatever you want to call it, that I am doing this to serve the need for just a voice of reason. Not that there are not any, but just another voice of reason within the gaming community, because it is mostly hyperbole, either in its toxicity or its positivity at times. Just a lot of hyperbole. And the Working Class Gamer Podcast really serves as a baseline for me, and hopefully for those of you who choose to tune in, because I just wanted to serve as a constant reminder that gaming is about community, whether we like it or not. And it is about including everyone. Even if it's a single player adventure, it is about including, giving access to everyone. It is the most interactive artistic medium, and is I won't say it's the most accessible, because to listen to music you only need functioning ears, and to watch a movie or see a painting you need, well, movie you need eyes and ears, but to see a painting you only need functioning eyesight. So while you do need a little bit, there are some more caveats to being able to interact with games. I still think it is one of the most inclusive mediums of art, as far as the ability for any one person from any background to create an experience for other people who are also from different backgrounds and different experiences to share together. I think that's what gaming is about at its core. If you look at the last 10 years at just of the games of the year that have won game of the year or that have been nominated for that, there's always an element of inclusivity. There's always an element of community in the greatest games. Your grandmother can play uh you know Super Mario Brothers. I know grandmothers that play with their grandkids. You know what I'm saying? So that just things that have happened in the last couple of weeks that have just that brought that to the forefront of my mind. Like, games are created by community for community. Um, Games are not made by teams for just one individual. And when one individual creates a game, he's not making it for just one other person. He or she, excuse me, is not making it for just one other person. And I think that as these games release and things happen in the industry, both on the developer and consumer side of things, I think, the hyperbole just leads us to forgetting about the community aspect of gaming. Uh, you know, I've just been thinking a lot about common sense. I think that community being at the core of gaming, I think that's a common sense idea. Um, and I think if we are not using as a community our common senses to create these experiences, then we just get lost in the sauce. And something that I've been mulling over is this idea of capital over community. I'm gonna get into what I've been playing. Don't worry, but I gotta go on this stream while I have it. Capital over community. A lot of the problems that the gaming industry faces right now are born out of the fact that developers and publishers have been seeking ways to increase their capital before they seek to increase ways to enhance community or increase community around their product or around their game. Um, you know, I just think about the state of Call of Duty today. I've been playing a lot of Black Ops 6. I love Black Ops 6. Big fan. Big fan, putting in work. Someone asked me, have I prestige yet? I'm like level 53. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how to prestige, to be honest. I don't know what it takes, but I am enjoying the game. And I've noticed online there's been a lot of talk, a lot of chatter about the aesthetic of Call of Duty, like when you play a multiplayer match, and how these skins are just kind of throwing off that aesthetic a bit. There are a lot of people online reminiscing about the days of the military simulator aesthetic that Call of Duty used to wear proudly. And it kind of permeated every aspect of Call of Duty. You saw it in the marketing with the endowment stuff, and just going out of their way to pay their respects to veterans in some kind of way around the release, whether it be like donating something to charity or whatever. It was just very heavily tied into the United States military industrial complex. And propaganda to the side, I think we all enjoyed Call of Duty for the better for it. And there was a time, if we look at the early, just 2013, the beginning of the PS4 and Xbox One generation, 2013. If we look at that year when Call of Duty Ghosts came out, I think that was the beginning of just people kind of like getting a little, what's the word, jaded with Call of Duty. And it was just like that common formula was not working. And so the developers sought to give us newer experiences. If you look at Black Ops 2, Black Ops 2 was 2012, and then Ghost in 2013, I want to say. Black Ops 3 is 2014 or 15, I don't know, somewhere around there. But look at Black Ops 3. 2014 was Advanced Warfare, okay? 2015, if that was Advanced Warfare, 2015 had to have been Black Ops 3, because 2016 was Infinite Warfare. if I'm looking at those three titles after Call of Duty Ghosts, then I'm looking at a Call of Duty that's trying to elevate the military sim idea. Where did Black Ops 2? I gotta look that up. Black Ops 2 was 2012. Okay, so Black Ops 2, which I don't know. I don't know why they pivoted so hard after that, because Black Ops 2 was a triumph. It was doing the future and the past at the same time. It connected itself to Black Ops 1. It had a fantastic story. It involved the current conversation of drone warfare. But then in 2013, you get Call of Duty Ghosts, which a lot of people did not enjoy. Now, that game, despite the way it was received, is on my list to go back and check out, because a lot of people also hated Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, and both of those games are very unique experiences that wear their aesthetic on their sleeve. It is throughout the entire experience. And so I thought Advanced Warfare at the time of release was amazing, and I have gone back and played Infinite Warfare earlier this year. That game is amazing. So I don't know I don't know why exactly just like they pivoted as hard as they did after Ghosts, but it seemed like they were already on the way to pivoting in that way, just looking at Black Ops 2 now that I see the time on it. And then Black Ops 3, which introduced the wall running and all that sort of stuff, that was 2015. So 2014 Advanced Warfare, 2015 Black Ops 3, 2016 Infinite Warfare. Man. People hated all three of those games. And now we live in a world where you can buy bundle packs for $25, $30, $40, $45, $50. There's a Vault Edition for $100, where like when you're playing with other people, you're liable to get shot to death by a weapon that turns you into confetti once you're depleted of all your health. At once upon a time, you could throw a Simtex at someone and blow their leg off. And now is not the time for us to have a discussion about the nature of violence in video games and its psychological effects on us. That Call of Duty was more fun than getting blown into confetti. I won quite a few games last night. I can't tell you how many times, though, I got blown into confetti because somebody paid for that premium skin. Now, I'm not a hypocrite. I'll be the first to tell you I'm not against buying a skin for any video game, even single player games. I've bought skins, as you guys know, for Assassin's Creed games, multiple of them. So I'm not mad at that idea, but it should still fit the aesthetic of the world somewhat. Like if I get the underworld outfit in Assassin's Creed, it needs to match the mythology of wherever that Assassin's Creed is taking place. If I'm buying a skin, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like in single player, you can take it left field like Assassin's Creed does with their skins and bundle packages, but it's a single player experience. So you are enabling the player to kind of pay for something so far out of the aesthetic that they spent most of their time building, just to further immerse themselves in the sandbox that you've given them. So I understand that, but like when you are involving other perspectives, you do get this conversation of, yo, what's going on with Call of Duty? You got the gameplay, you have the audience base, but I think you have interesting questions to ask yourself if you have a community of players who are asking you to give them the option to turn off the ability to see skins. I wasn't with the Call of Duty community when they were saying, hey, we're tired of seeing the top three, because as someone who is often in the top three of the winning team, I don't mind seeing it. So just get good. But yeah, I could see someone just like, you know what? Can you guys just give us a way to turn this off? We'll give you money actually to turn this off. Someone that was a talking point in this online conversation. So I really what I think all of this really means is that Battlefield has the chance to make the greatest comeback ever. I don't think Call of Duty is going to return to the mil sim aesthetic, at least within the next 3 years. If they're going to pivot in that way, then they're going to have to build an entire game around it. And I don't think Black Ops 6 is that game, because it's kind of, Black Ops itself is like a heightened, stylized, like war noir, basically. Like the latest game, you probably heard there are horror elements in the single player campaign and all that kind of stuff. Zombies coming about with World at War, but then blowing up with the first Black Ops. Like Black Ops games, they're not like 2019's Modern Warfare, that to me, that was like peak Call of Duty. Because when I think Call of Duty, I think American soldier. I think, just American weapons manufacturing. I do think Middle Eastern, Russian conflicts, Nazi Germany, whatever. Those things do come to mind when you say Call of Duty. Um, I feel like you should keep those types of skins over there in Warzone. I feel like that's the solution, because when Modern Warfare came out and the goal was to reboot one of the most beloved sub franchises of Call of Duty, if not the most beloved, until Black Ops dethroned it. Um, yeah, like we're rebooting it with even more modern sensibilities. That was 2007 versus 2019. So this is post Battlefield 3 and 4. This is post like Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, where we did the super futuristic things. We took you to space and we dealt with massive corporations and we dealt like private military, and we dealt with like factions like the UNSC or whatever, the United States Space Command versus whoever else, like, and China and Russia have allied themselves and they got Jupiter, and then we got the moon and Mars or whatever. Like we've done that. That we took the military aesthetic and brought it into the fantastical, if you will, right? Science fiction, that sort of thing. um we're coming back to right now. Like, just go back and look at some of those trailers for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019. Go back and look at some of those trailers. Where it was like, this is what it was, back to that 9/11 type of I don't know the word ideology, just the energy of America post 9/11. We're talking like 05, 06, you know what I mean? Like re-electing George Bush. It had that kind of going on. I like that for Call of Duty. You know what I mean? As an entertainment piece. I do have some issues, like if we're doing 2019, I don't know why we're taking it back to the Middle East, even though there are things going on. Uh when you take into account some of the, because this is I see, I don't want to go there, but when you just look at what was happening in the world at the time, I don't think rehashing like Middle Eastern conflict was the key. But as far as the aesthetic, the appearance of the soldiers and in the multiplayer and the characters within the single player, you had a game that was true to its own aesthetic. And even though this was pre Warzone and all that stuff when it launched, I I do think the strongest aspect of that particular game was just sticking to that aesthetic from top to bottom. Um that game got a lot of hours on my Xbox One X at the time. A lot of hours. And then you have Modern Warfare 2, which just like stuck to it even more, but this is post Warzone. So now we are getting like Nicki Minaj and Snoop Dogg and all that kind of stuff. Um 21 Savage, but militarized versions of those skins, right? But now it's like we're too far gone. Like, why am I getting killed by like somebody who looks like a Diablo main character or a Diablo enemy? Like, why? And then if we're gonna do that, then build a Call of Duty around that, or build a map around that, or whatever, and make that the premium thing. I just like, listen, I'm with the guys online. Like, we buy Call of Duty every year. Okay, we've accepted that like you're asking for $69.99 for like, I don't know, 6 to 7 months of that initial Call of Duty's release cycle. The first 6 to 7 months, you're asking us for $70. That game never goes on sale. Okay, we're cool with that. We being the people who play Call of Duty. Then you add on the fact that you guys ask us to buy a season pass every 75 days or whatever. So that's about 2 months and some change. So you're 3 different times while you're still asking us for $70. Like I said, that 7 month window before you even reveal the next Call of Duty, which really doesn't get revealed till that June or July. So that's like, not, if it comes out in October, November, December, October, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's 8 months. 77 days. It's like 2 months and 10 days. 2 months, 6 plus 10. That's another month. So that's 7. That's the 7th month. So yeah, you're almost 4 times you're asking me. You're not gonna ask me 4 times for that season pass would be egregious, but you're gonna ask me 3 different times to buy a season pass that is at least $30. Not 20, $30. Okay, cool. Now you're asking me, the person that already gave you $75, to look at the fool that gave you $60, 40 some odd dollars for these skins or whatever. I got to look at that every time I die. I had a 45-17 kill death ratio in one particular game, so I don't want to sound like I just be seeing the death screen all the time. Make no mistake. But what I'm saying is, I feel them. I feel these guys, man. Like I do. I've always defended the changes that Call of Duty makes. Why are you guys tripping about Advanced Warfare? Isn't it cool? We got exoskeletons. They built the whole thing around. I thought that was so fire. Capitalizing off the success of Titanfall and doing kind of a gotcha at the former Call of Duty developers that left you and went over there to create something and stealing their sauce and bringing it over to Call of Duty for Black Ops 3, running on walls while getting kills. That shit was fire, bro. Plus the little jump packs. It was fire. I've been with y'all the whole ride. This is not gameplay though. This is just capital. This is not community minded. Warzone is free to play. Okay? That is the place to do your seasons. Like that is the place to do your battle passes. That is the place to do your skins that are $30, $40, $50 premium stuff. First Descendant does it. I'm not mad at the idea of giving me a free game and then creating a skin or a character that's so fire you're asking me for $60, $70, $80. I'm not mad at that. Especially if the alternative is to grind for free for like 36 hours. I totally get it. I'm not mad at it. Do that over there. You're selling us a game for $69.99, and all of the this is the problem. People don't know how to boycott, and community has to be shown how to just say no. Y'all be not pre-ordering around the wrong shit. Modern Warfare 3 should have been the reason to not pre-order Black Ops 6. Oh, you gave us a game with a 3-hour campaign? We're not pre-ordering from you guys ever again. We're going to wait for reviews, and I'm going to get to the nature of reviews later. Like that should have been the time. Now, to those people who don't like skins or any of this extra stuff, don't buy anything from Call of Duty. Play it for free. You bought Black Ops 6, leave it at that. Buy it used and leave it at that. Game Pass, leave it at that. Don't buy any skins because then we're hypocrites. Because I looked at a couple of them. But I was just like, I don't want to be on the other side of that. I know it sounds like stupid. Like I'm not forcing myself. I just looked at it for a second and it was just like, that's a lot of money just to look like the complete opposite of the entire aesthetic that was created for this particular Call of Duty title. Like this early, it's just now December. It's early in December. The game came out October 25th. This early in the game's life cycle, come on, bro. Come on, bro. I just again, capital over community. What happened to map packs? Bring back map packs. Bring back the season pass that just goes ahead and get what happened to Vault Edition having that Vault Edition, whatever it used to be called back then. Remember the ultimate editions of stuff? What happened to just getting the season pass? It's like, yo, we're doing 4 map packs between now and the next Call of Duty release. You get all 4 of them. And, okay, y'all PlayStation users, y'all get it, about 10 days early. What happened to that, bruh? What happened to that? The season pass that you're asking us $29.99 for doesn't give us bonus maps. Sometimes you give us an extra mode or whatever, but it'll be on the same maps. And Black Ops 6 has great maps. But, what happened to that, to paying for more? More game? They're not even asking us to pay for more game. They're asking you to pay for more looks in the game that you're never going to see unless you play in third person in Call of Duty. That ain't, sorry to be an old head, that ain't Call of Duty. You can go to the Division for that. And that's the thing. Like if Division asked you to buy like extra legendary clothing or whatever or something like that, it would kind of make sense because at least I see this dude. But even still, it'd be greedy as hell because like damn, the game's $75 after tax. So I think like what I think is happening because yeah. I'm gonna cook today. I'm gonna cook today. So here's what's going on. So yeah, people are pissed off about that, but we're gonna keep playing. But the only way to kind of combat what's going on with the skins is just don't buy them. Don't engage with the skins. Don't buy that shit. Don't buy a battle pass. Don't buy nothing. Play the base mode you're given. They gave us Nuketown for free. I think that's pretty dope. Whatever else they give us for free. And what does that even mean for free? I already gave you $75. They've already programmed us into just like, oh, this extra thing that we give you after you bought our game full price is free. No, I feel like you kind of owe me that for buying day one. I don't think that's too far-fetched to say to a developer, you owe me that extra little piece. I've been supporting the game. Shout out to the developers of Stellar Blade. I understand paying $9.99 for the Nier Automata costume pack since that's a pre-existing game. I bought that Black Friday, by the way. I got Nier Automata on PS4. But every other skin, every other update we've done for that game, we added the beach mode, we added photo mode, we added new skins, a dozen new skins, something like that, something crazy. That's yeah, for free. That's not for free. You're giving me stuff to keep me continuing to play this single player adventure. That's how you do that. That to me is how you do that. And I know Call of Duty is this behemoth, and I know that they have their like metrics or whatever they gotta hit. But I feel like at a certain point, like Call of Duty only costs so much money. So doing everything you can to make as much money possible from this thing that always breaks records every time it comes out and stays in the top 3 the entire year. Year round, it's a top 3 title, top 5 title, like purchased. At a certain point, all this revenue is just because you was greedy enough to ask for it, to go and get it. And I know that sounds crazy, that sounds anti-hustle, but I just think some of this, I think these like crazy amount of profits that we're seeing, I think they're born out of anti-consumer practices. Asking someone for $40 for a bundle of skin stuff, because you're not giving me better guns. Them guns better not shoot better than me. I already gave you $75. So you're not giving me a gun that like kind of is a cheat or whatever. You're just giving me a skin for my character and my gun and a little charm. Like it doesn't do anything for gameplay. And you can update it. And maybe I got to be prestige level whatever to get it. You can just add, like, why we can't do that? That would keep me playing, wouldn't it? But now it's like they want to keep us spending. They don't want to keep us engaged. They want to keep us spending. And that's why they have the problem they have right now. We're about to get to it. Ubisoft. They had to shut down xDefiant. Which Tom Henderson, I don't really know what you own, bro. Tom Henderson of Insider Gaming. I don't know if I trust you yet. I know some of these bigger journalists or whatever cite you sometimes. I did see you, though, say a couple months ago, about a month and a half ago, that, yo, don't be surprised. xDefiant is probably going to shut down season 4 or whatever. We'll see. It'll be like early 2025. And boom, here we are. So I'm going to give you this one. Now, I didn't like your little Assassin's Creed report, and maybe I was being emotional, but I was just like, who is this guy? How do we know what he's saying is fact? Talking about they went in and changed the story drastically and blah, 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 and that's why I delayed it. That doesn't even make sense. But you said it about this, so maybe I need to go back and kind of reevaluate some of your news that you've broken. But yeah, xDefiant. For those of you who don't know, xDefiant is a free-to-play shooter from Ubisoft. Kind of designed around just like the older school military sim, first-person shooter, competitive like aesthetic. I think they said that's what it's built around. It feels like 2007 Call of Duty. I played it. I like it. The problem with free-to-play, though, is, it's free to play, and we're going to get into how some of these models are actually kind of like they're anti-revenue for the developers themselves, because free to play is kind of built around marketing in itself. So there's like Fortnite is the king, like 2 million concurrent players or something crazy the other day. But there's so much marketing that goes into people playing Fortnite. Like, say what you want. I've seen the jokes online that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Oppenheimer existing is the very reason we got to deal with the Godzilla skin in Fortnite right now, but it's all marketing. Like, Actually, let me go to the article. Let me jump ahead a little bit. Uh, yeah. See, well, they were talking about esports. They were saying that esports is just marketing. Like the thing about esports is that it's just marketing expenses for building fandom. It's not a revenue growth vector like some publishers were led to believe. Saying that about esports, I personally believe that about free to play because to me, free to play and esports are like intertwined. They are directly connected to each other. People play Call of Duty, Warzone competitively for money. That is happening. People play League of Legends for money. That's happening. People play the paid games for money. So I feel like free to play, like the next step to the evolution of a free to play title is bringing it into the competitive esports space. But like it says here, you're mostly what you're dealing with is marketing expenses to build a fandom in the first place. I'm saying all that to say you were never going to build a fandom around xDefiant. So I don't know what the operating costs of that particular title are, but I do know that they say free to play titles cost a lot of money. So if you're trying to give us just a classic first person style shooter or whatever, it needs to be something scaled down. You already have Rainbow Six Siege, which is a behemoth and is just now being caught up to the aesthetic you first revealed to us in that original E3 trailer from like 2014 or something. You know what I'm saying? It took you like 10 years and next gen consoles to get us here. xDefiant just feels like too expensive of an endeavor to even embark on in the first place. Like to me, it seems that Ubisoft thrives when they build, because everybody says what they want to say about Assassin's Creed or Ghost Recon or Far Cry. People play those games though, like millions of people buy and play those games. So I just don't I never understood Ubisoft trying to get into that first person shooter arena. It didn't even feel right for them, even with the success of The Division, because it's not the shooting of The Division that people, even though it's really good, that people wanted to get into when The Division was first revealed with that first title. It was the world and how it was laid out and how you would engage with missions. We knew how the shooting might feel because of Ghost Recon. That wasn't what drew us to it. In fact, that first gameplay trailer that we ever saw for The Division looked bullet spongy and peppery as hell. Division 2 really leveled up the shooting in that franchise. I feel like the shooting became they wanted to figure out the world first. That's why the Division 2 shooting is like head and shoulders above the Division 1, because that first game, Massive Entertainment, there's a reason they called on Massive to make Star Wars Outlaws and the Avatar game. It's because their specialty is world building. But because of what was going on at the time, especially with where gaming was trending with Destiny on the horizon and stuff like that, the Division was the best way in this age of connection to keep our community connected. But we are the masters of world building. Every single other company that makes open world games is building them after our successes of Far Cry 3, Assassin's Creed 2. You know what I'm saying? The industry responded to those types of experiences with Elder Scrolls, which came out around the same time as Far Cry 3, like a year after, or around the same, probably the same year, I want to say. But especially The Witcher 3, which took everything about Skyrim and Ubisoft open world games and combined them. In my opinion, I'm just a working class gamer. That's my observation. And then Assassin's Creed took back from The Witcher, and you get Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. But yeah, the Division was built around the world. It was built around the community that would inhabit that world. And then, okay, we got you guys. We have engagement. We're generating revenue. Let's invest in the shooting of. We know how to world build. Let's invest in the shooting of this game, and that's how you get a Division 2. I just don't understand what the goal with xDefiant was, unless you were trying to quickly cash in on the boom of this particular genre of gaming. I don't see how you thought you could have contended. Call of Duty can't contend with Fortnite, if we're being for real. Warzone will never reach the heights of 2016, 2017 Fortnite. Never. Yeah, we have Call of Duty Mobile, and Warzone is free to play on every console connected to the internet right now. But it'll never be Fortnite because you're a mil sim shooter first. So either do cool world events like Godzilla, which I think is cool. I think that's cool. Do that there. Do that. It's a Warzone is a sandbox, so do that there. But I think like you should just focus on those types of marketing tie-ins, those types of experiences. But Call of Duty has years of first-person shooter expertise that they brought to the free-to-play genre. Call of Duty Warzone, to me, shoots better than Fortnite, period. It literally shoots better. It feels better to shoot someone than it does in Fortnite. So you still have that strength. XDefiant, you have to contend with just the sheer marketing power of Fortnite. You got to compete with that. And you got to compete with the mastery of shooting mechanics over here, because you figured it out, yeah, with Division 2, but you're still not Call of Duty. You might be beating your own game like Ghost Recon. I think the Division 2 shoots better than Ghost Recon, Wildlands, or Breakpoint. Not better than Future Soldier, though. Future Soldier was heat shooting wise. But yeah, like you're never gonna be a better. And that was my first takeaway with XDefiant. This does feel really good. You made a valiant effort, but the way the math works, you were never going to cut into that free to play pie. You just weren't gonna do it. That was never you. And now we got developers. I don't know what happens. So I ain't even gonna say we got developers without a job, but we're without XDefiant now. So here we are. So RIP to that game. Shout out to the developers of that game, because it was fun. I played it, but I didn't it wasn't gonna hold me. It was never gonna hold me. I played it for a little bit. I put maybe like 3 hours into that game. It was fun. Shoots really, really well. Not good enough for me to stay over here though. And I'm not even the shooter guy. That's the thing. You got to give me a reason. Marvel Rivals is giving everybody a reason right now. Warzone is for the people playing Warzone right now were Call of Duty heads before Warzone came about. Now I don't have to rush to buy that new Call of Duty title day one. I got Warzone. I was talking to the homie today. You ain't got Black Ops 6 yet? I got Warzone. He going crazy. So I get that. XDefiant, bro, you're not gonna. And I'm gonna be fair. I don't know how Horizon's gonna do the MMO version. That's an amazing single player world. Like, I don't know how that's gonna translate into the multiplayer game. They've got enough cachet with me for me to try it out when it happens. But if it's paid, it might not be a day one thing. Shout out to Path of Exile too. I got that early access today. Hey. So yeah, man. I hate to hear that about XDefiant, but that's what's happening, because these developers are prioritizing capital over community. This is what happens. We have more games dying than need to be dying. When I was growing up, games weren't just dying like this. Now, we didn't have all these connected experiences either. But when Destiny came out, like the XDefiant's not even 2 years old. It can't be 2 years old. It's not even a 2-year-old game. Destiny came out and it never felt like that game was going to die in 2 years. Granted, it was a $60 experience that had a single player offline experience on it still. It was always online, but it had a single player. You could play that game by yourself. And there was a point A, a point B, and a point C. I mean, an act 1, act 2, act 3, a beginning, middle, and end of a story in that game, right? So you could still engage with it whether or not you wanted to do multiplayer. But I think it's interesting that some of these titles that are coming out now are kind of prioritizing that capital over community. I'm not well versed enough to speak on what's going on with Destiny and Destiny 2, the free-to-play version, all that kind of stuff. I'm not well versed enough to speak on it. But something's going on. You can if you talk to anybody from the community, it's not what it used to be back in 2015, 2016. So it has lasted this long, but I don't know anybody. I don't know anyone. It doesn't mean nobody's playing it, but I don't know anyone saying, yo, Destiny is still hitting. There are people who still play, you can hop onto an Infinite Warfare server. I'm not saying it's loud, but people still playing it. It's more plausible to think that you could go play a Call of Duty from 2015, 16, or 17 and know that there are players on there than it is to get on Destiny and find people that really want to rock out. You know what I'm saying? There are people online playing that game. Yes, I know. But what I'm saying is, like, nobody's begging for new players to come and join them over there. People are asking me to play Warzone, though. I'm not going to play it because that's not me. But people are asking. You know what I'm saying? So I think, like, all of this capital over community, don't overestimate your value in this community. Even if you are Call of Duty. Even if you are Ubisoft, one of the largest, if not the largest publisher on the planet besides Nintendo and Sony. So it's like, never overestimate who you are to the community. These people, the gamers today are fickle, bro. They'll turn on you in a heartbeat. You put a black girl on the cover, they're not buying your game. I hate to say it. You put a woman as the main character of your samurai game. They're gonna tell you they're not gonna buy it, but that game's gonna sell 3 million copies in the first month, 2 months. So people going, you know what I mean? Folks is fickle. Warhammer Space Marine 2. The developers came out and told you, yo, this is the aesthetic. That's why everybody talking about, oh, it's an Xbox 360 game. No, it's not. It plays like a modern game. It feels like a modern game. It doesn't feel like an Xbox 360 game. The problem is, not the problem, but what's happening is most gamers, the average gamer, associates a game showing you an aesthetic and sticking with it all the way through, whether it was a good game or not. They're used to that happening in the Xbox 360, PS3 era. A game like Dark Void would do really well today. A game like Wet would do really well today. Those are 7 out of 10 games. They were 5 and 6 out of 10 games at the time they came out, but those are 7, maybe 8 out of 10 games today. There's 7 out of 10 games for sure, because they have an aesthetic and they stick to it. And some of the games are super successful at doing that, and some of them are not. But it's like the industry is becoming risk averse. A portal is being opened for the independent developer. This is where you can thrive. The one person development team behind Crossfire X. This is when you know what I mean? Like, this is when those things happen. Like, oh, you guys aren't giving us what you used to give us. We got Unreal Engine at home. We'll make something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's happening. It's going to start. I'm telling you, watch these next like 5 to 7 years. There's a reason the gaming industry is welcoming China so much, the larger corporations, because the developers, the big ones, the big Western developers can't figure it out anymore. They don't know how to create something that is brand new and can, like, they can't guarantee, because they're trying to guarantee 3 million copies in a month and they can't do it anymore. Like Black Myth Wukong, yeah, I know it had the Chinese population helping, but I'd be willing to bet it sold 2 million copies in the West between August 20th and right now. There was too much going on Reddit that wasn't in Chinese for me to think that Black Myth Wukong was not a success on PC and PS5 in Europe and America, in North America. That game sold 2 million copies in the West. Faux show. Yeah, it probably sold 7-8 million copies. I know it has that 10 million copy number that was reported like early November, something like that. Yeah, I know 8 million of those copies were probably from China, but I'm telling you, 2 million of those were in the West. I'm sure Stellar Blade has sold. Man, I'm sure I could look it up, bruh, and see how many copies has Stellar Blade sold in the West. See, 5 months ago, Shift Up was saying Stellar Blade has sold over 1 million copies. See, and then the last reports I'm seeing are from June. I'm gonna figure out a place to find current sales data. It's hard to track like games. I know there are places to do that, but yeah, bro, that game has got to be at like, shoot, the amount of people that probably bought it used to, it's got to be at a couple million copies. A couple million people are playing that game, bro. Like, and that game never dropped in price. It's been $69.99 since April. So here's the thing, bro. If you're making $70 million a game and your game that game probably costs $40 million, $50 million, maybe 50 million. Because if Alan Wake 2 is a $70 million game, I don't think Stellar Blade is more than $40 million. If I sell 2 million copies for $70 a piece, that's $140 million. That's probably 100. Let's take away 40 million. Let's say you pay 40 million. That's $100 million you made. And let's take away the 40 million you spent on the game. That's $60 million in profit. I'm bullshitting right now, but you understand the point I'm trying to make. I think a bigger experience with more marketing would have sold more copies. I think that's how that goes. Once you got a game, you nailed the aesthetic. Now that type of game is going to be niche. It's M-rated. It's a female at the center. There's a lot of sexuality going on too. So you know what I'm saying? There's some people that are going to be offended by it. They might not buy it, but I'm telling you, 2 million copies, bro. That's not no chump change. That game will have sold 3 million copies by the end of February. By April of next year, it'll have sold 3 million. So if you sold 2 million copies at $70 and another million copies at what the price, $50 now. You know what I'm saying? That's $50 million. That's almost $200 million, bro, on a $40 $50 million game. I'm being generous by putting it at 50. So, you know, plus the S.T.A.L.K.E.R collaboration. Let's say that sold 100,000. That's $10 at 100,000. That's $1 million. I don't know how the math is done, but I feel like that's cool. I feel like that's cool enough for y'all to say, okay, give us a Stellar Blade 2. And if I made this at 40 million, then we'll just give y'all another 30 or 40 million. Turn that into an $80 million game. If we get y'all $80 million, y'all going crazy. I know you're going crazy. Shift up. I know you're going crazy. And if we turn that 80 into 240, yo, we got ourselves a good, what is that, a second party game? Shift Up was whatever, and they got some backing from, because it was supposed to be an Xbox One game, so that was going to be third party, but that becomes second party when you got like a deal with the publisher for, no, this is just exclusive for us. We don't own you. I don't know if they didn't buy Shift Up, so that's second party. Now you got a good second party relationship. And if you're the director of Shift Up, unless you just, or the CEO, whatever, unless you're just trying to maintain that independence, you might, I might want to join Naughty Dog and Insomniac and like get these big ass budgets to make some stuff like crazy. I don't think the people making Spider-Man are like mad about the fact that they're making Spider-Man. Like you can tell that game, both of those games are made with a lot of care, love and care and attention. And Miles Morales, all three of them. So Wolverine will probably feel that way as well. I know Wolverine had a bad leak, but I think there's gonna be some fatigue that kicks in. If Wolverine is not as good as Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, just gameplay wise, I think that's just gonna be the product of a dev team that's fatigued. So I think that'll be how we find out how that's going. But it seems that the first party developers at Sony, like the Insomniacs, the Naughty Dogs, they seem to be pretty happy with their relationship to Sony. So I'm rambling, but I'm just saying, like, I don't even know. I guess I was just talking about how like these games come out and they're not dedicated to their aesthetic. Yeah, this is the other thing, and it's all tied together. xDefiant is dead. People are complaining about there's an identity crisis with Call of Duty, and people are noticing and complaining. And this is why gamers are not finishing games. These games are releasing with identity crises. I'm trying to say that plural. I don't know if I say crises or crises, but you know what I'm saying. Games are releasing with an identity crisis. A lot of them. Diablo 4, like when it comes to mind, like a lot of people, like what, 30% of people actually finished Diablo 4. That's kind of crazy. 30 or 40% of people. Like, hold on. I got the graph right here. I got the graph right here. I ain't even got to lie to you. Okay, on PlayStation, trophy achievement data. On PlayStation, 52% of people finish that game. On Xbox, it drops off to 25%. On Steam, 31% of people. So that's really interesting. 26 hours is the average time it takes to beat Diablo 4. And this is all coming from a MediaResearch.com post by Reese Elliott. He posted this July 24th, 2024. I'm actually taking this article. Jake Baldino talked about this in one of his videos about what, and the whole video was about why gamers aren't finishing games, but this to me just points to what I've been talking about pretty much the entire time I've had this podcast. Just this idea of capital over community. That's really why games aren't being finished, because they're not compelling. Diablo 4 is kind of compelling, but Path of Exile 2 is looking so fire that one of the developers, Rod Ferguson, is having to come out. I know, listen, when the developers tweet, yo, hey, we see you, congrats on your release, you ain't got no choice but to show the new big dog in town some respect, because Path of Exile is coming out. Path of Exile 2 is coming out being absolutely dedicated to its aesthetic. and not trying to do this thing where we make the most revenue at one time. No, it's gonna be a free to play game. But if y'all want to go ahead and play it a year early in early access, $30 guaranteed. You got it from me. $30 to play a game that looks like it has more going on than like I had to. You got to give Diablo 4 another $30 for the aesthetic to change. I got Diablo 4. I haven't finished it yet on PlayStation. I haven't finished it, and it's because it's like, bro, when is the aesthetic gonna change? I still don't have a mount, bro. And I thought I was gonna get a mount. I thought it was this open world adventure. It's like, yo, when is, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I put like maybe 12, 13 hours in that game, and I've been in the same like general area, the same gray area, and the same dungeons. It's not hitting kind of like how Diablo 3 did. Vessel of Hatred looked really dope, and the reviews say it's a dope expansion. But if I got to get through this and then give you another 30 to get over there to where it gets cool, no, bro, I'm going to just give 30 to GGG, the developers of Path of Exile 2, because they're giving me something compelling. Shout out to the Division 3, massive entertainment. Please, Ubisoft, lock in, bro. Lock in. Because it's not an attention span thing. And I did write that Ubisoft, before I get into that, Ubisoft does need to lock in on Assassin's Creed, The Division, maybe Ghost Recon, and keep Siege up, keep For Honor up. Those, you have communities. You're going to generate revenue with Siege. You're going to generate revenue with For Honor. Ghost Recon, people buy that game. Millions of people buy that game every time you drop. I think y'all should keep going with the open world like thing that you're doing. Drop a ghost on an island and scatter the weapon parts and scatter the weapons and scatter the bases. Ghost Recon is for us people who just love bases. So is Far Cry. I've been playing Far Cry 5. That's awesome. I don't know what happened in Far Cry 6. I don't know what happened. And so maybe I should have put Far Cry in that list too. But Assassin's Creed and The Division, those are your big two now. I know you guys canceled the Division Heartland, but people are waiting on Division 3. I know this because of how live the Division 2 is right now. Right now, it's a lot of people playing the Division 2. People are still buying Warlords of New York. I bought it twice on 2 different systems. Please lock in, bruh. You did the license thing. You tried it with Avatar, which I love that game. I own that game. I own the gold edition. I got it. I paid for the ultimate edition with the Steelbook. I gave y'all $120 day one. I was prepared to get the collector's edition of Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm gonna still get it if it's still available. I don't care about the noise. Those, I'm telling you, and shout out to y'all. I'm glad you delayed Assassin's Creed. Don't let that come out. I can only do so much with this platform and defending y'all. So lock in, bruh. Lock in. Support Assassin's Creed all the way through to the end of the summer, the end of the year. Keep that game going like Cyberpunk, because I know it's not going to be fully polished, and they're going to find reasons to crucify y'all anyway. So I see what you try to do with Star Wars Outlaws. Unfortunately, I think that's a game that's mostly going to sell used. I know you updated it and and did your thing, but most people are going to buy that game used now. You got to sell new. You got to sell new software. Assassin's Creed and The Division is going to be how you move units. And I'm going to buy stock in y'all, because I know Tencent is going to go private, and I know it's going to shoot the value up. So I need to go ahead and get into that while I can, or something. I don't know. Something. I'll figure it out. I don't know how finance works. I'm just talking out my behind right now. But y'all got to lock in. Y'all cannot afford another Outlaws. You should have never tried xDefiant in the first place. In my opinion, you should have never even tried xDefiant. I don't know what the point of having xDefiant is when you already have a successful FPS in Rainbow Six Siege, and you guys are not the FPS developers. So I don't know why you made another one. Assassin's Creed and The Division are your big two. Get them two shits figured out, and then come back to Ghost Recon. You know what I mean? And figure it out. Like, you gotta go with your marquees now. You didn't sell, for whatever reason, you need to sell a certain amount of copies of Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. You didn't. You shut down the developer. So since y'all are doing that, y'all need to lock in on these 2 marquees, and they better be fire when they come out. They got to be. You need to give the community a reason to engage with your game. The main game I'm going to be talking about today is a great example of that. But yeah, that's why we're not finishing games, because these games just aren't compelling, bruh. They're not compelling. They're not giving me a reason to get to the end. Dragon Age: The Veilguard was not, for me, was not compelling. It wasn't about the little woke stuff or whatever people be talking about, the pronouns and this and this and that. It just wasn't compelling. It was too vanilla. It was way too vanilla, way too sweet for me to like, bro, this don't even feel dark. Dragon Age, that's a dark ass title. Like, what are we talking about? Like, come on, bro. I didn't want to play a cartoon. Like, the more I think about that game, the less I like it. And I know I'm going to come back to it and play it. But how dare y'all ask us for $70 for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, there needs to be more than, y'all can't just, some games can't just be riding off of the gameplay loop to justify the $70. There wasn't enough in the gameplay for me to justify giving you $70, $89.99 for the deluxe. No, sorry. Actually, I think it was it was $89.99. Yeah, there wasn't enough. So yeah, like there's stuff just isn't. It's a lot of trend chasing. It's a lot of capital chasing. Like, I need y'all to get back to making games. Like, and hopefully what happens, the crash that everyone is begging for, I think, is just game developers deciding to develop on smaller budgets. We're going to get lesser tent poles per year. We're going to get lesser 100 million, 150 million, $200 million games per year. We might just start getting one or two $100 million games a year. I'm cool with that, because Stellar Blade, I know, is not a $100 million game. Matter of fact, let me look it up so I can fact check myself, bruh. I just think y'all are doing a little too much. Stellar Blade production budget. It's estimated that the budget is around 30 to 50 million. This is according to FamiBoards.com. Come on, bruh. If you can give me a Stellar Blade for 30, 35, I'm going to meet you in the middle. $40 million, bro. What are we doing, bro? Hire talented people. Just hire talented people. Give them a good, safe working environment, and you'll get I think that's why Stellar Blade is so fire. I don't think the woman that was being scanned to play Eve ever felt a way about being scanned. I don't think anybody made her uncomfortable with that. I think it's actually the director's wife, if I'm not mistaken. So you damn sure ain't finna make her uncomfortable. Like, bro, come on, bro. Y'all quit being creepy in the office. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where this is coming from, but like, this is why this Baldur's Gate 3. Let's keep going with the data. Now, Baldur's Gate 3 is big as hell. So I'm gonna skip that one. That's just a big ass game with a lot of possibilities. That there's a reason 22% on Steam finished that game. And even lower on Xbox and PlayStation. 13% on Xbox, 19% on PlayStation. That's a big ass game. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a great example though. 17% on PlayStation, 15% on Xbox. Average time to finish, 61 hours. 61 hours. You gotta be for real, bruh. You gotta be for real with yourself. Don't ask me for 61 hours of my time. 61 hours of my time. If at the 20-hour mark, which is where I'm at right now, I'm just checking off freaking lists, bro. The gameplay loop in that game is not strong enough. The world is strong enough to keep me going. One day I'll finish that game, but it shouldn't be a one day. Like, I miss buying a game and that was all I played. That was back in the day when I could only buy a game 1 or 2 or 3 at a time. I bought 6 games between Black Friday and today. Today being December 7th. So, and Black Friday was November 29th. So, I mean, bruh, I know that. I know I'm buying more games than I used to just to have them. But, like, I miss buying a game, starting a game, and finishing that game, bro, in like 2 weeks. This was back when I had to go to school. Go to school 5 days a week. 7 a.m., 6 a.m., up. I had to get on the bus. Got off the bus, 3:30. Lived in a strict household. Can't play the game but on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And when I was 12, we only had one TV in the house. Now it's a little more tricky when I can find game time. I miss them days, bruh. These games just ain't compelling me to finish. Or they are compelling, but it's too much I gotta do, bro. I did buy Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I feel like that's a mandatory own if you got a PS5 Pro. I don't know when I'm gonna finish that game. Because I know what it entails. I know what's going on, bruh. Why is it taking me 100 hours to beat part 2 of a remade video game that came out in one package? 100 hours for the second part? For the middle? Only reason I'm even considering it is because it's y'all's game of the year contender or whatever, bro. But like, golly. Like for real, 100 hours, bruh, in February? Come on, bro. We just now beating seasonal depression and you asking me for 100 hours? Then Dragon's Dogma coming out behind that. That's 60 hours, give or take, bruh. Listen, it's not even that. It's a lot of game. Okay, you got the aesthetic on some of these titles, on your Dragon's Dogma. And I think Dragon's Dogma to me was a happy 60 hours is kind of a lot of time in Dragon's Dogma 2. You can beat that game in 20 hours if you want to. If you and not have a tough time doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd like there's a point somewhere where aesthetic meets like time asked, because I will give you 75.59. That's the price after tax here in Georgia. I will give you 75.59 for a brand new game that's only 15 hours long, bro. I will. I remember when they lied and said Black Myth Wukong was a 20-hour game. The developers, that shit took me 75 hours. Cause I was so engrossed, I went everywhere. I'm finna find every boss, every secret world, everything going on. Yeah, probably the mainland that game, it only takes 20 hours, but there's 90 something bosses in that game, bro. And I'm finna find all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's gameplay meets art direction meets all. You know, I'm gonna be engaged with that. And you keep showing me something new through your bosses, through the worlds. That's my game of the year, bro. I'm not finna come on here meat riding Black Myth Wukong. Y'all already know what's going on, but I'm just saying, bro. xDefiant is not going to get 100 hours out of me. Warzone might get 100 hours out of me over a year because Warzone is a Call of Duty title. The homies is over there. The gameplay style and loop is over there. The loot, all that kind of stuff is over there. You know what I'm saying? Marvel Rivals might do it. Everybody talk about, I ain't heard nan person talk to me about how that game feel. I ain't read not nan tweet about how Marvel Rivals feels right now. Everything I'm seeing is aesthetic. Oh my God, the character intros are so cool. Oh my God, look at the designs. Oh my God, look at how good these graphics are, and they're not hyper realistic. Like, that's all I'm hearing about that game. And the gameplay probably is super solid. But it's crazy what aesthetic will do. These games are starting to look the same, bruh. That's why Destiny lasted for as long as it did. At least it looked different. That shit just gets stale after a while, but it did look different. But come on, bro. It ain't our fault. You're not finna say, yo, all y'all do is scroll TikTok all day and yada 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 yada, and that's why y'all don't finish games. Hell no, bro. You know how many times I done had to defend Assassin's Creed Valhalla? Like, nah, God, I vibe with the world. People feel a way about that game, bro. Because you asking too much of me. You asking personalize the experience. And then by the time you wanted to do that in an Assassin's Creed title, didn't nobody want to play Mirage for real? Nobody want to play as, what's his name? Basim or whatever. Baghdad did look really cool though. Don't get me wrong. The world looked cool, but nobody wanted to play as that character. Nobody cared. Eivor was something new. A Viking? With the axe? Wolf kissed? That's fire. Bruh. 75-hour total game, and 50 of that is checklisting and fetch questing and all that kind. Man, no, bro. Oh my goodness, no, bro. You need to give me set pieces. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You need to put me on the train, running, doing the Uncharted thing. Origins don't have no set pieces. It was the world really did it for me, and it was the first of its type. It was just the right amount of RPG going on. The map big, but just not too many question marks, bro. Bro, Valhalla, it's too much going on. Odyssey, it's too much. Now the cup is starting to run over a little bit. You know what I'm saying? At a certain aesthetic first. What is the game? What does it look like and what does it feel like? That's what y'all need to figure out first. Then, okay, how long do I want my customer engaged with this? Okay, if it's a God of War beginning, middle, and end, I want them to feel that they got their $70 worth, but I still got to take you somewhere new every couple of hours, bruh. God of War Ragnarok is a 25-hour game that takes you a lot of places. They really stretch your $70, bro. I'm telling you, it's perspective. It's just perspective. But hopefully y'all like scale it back a little bit, because everybody can't be GTA 5. Everybody can't be The Witcher. Everybody can't be Cyberpunk, bro. And stop trying to be. Scale it back. Nier Automata. We see what you did over there. We gonna do that, but sexy. Okay. Now this and this is the thing. Nier Automata has some of the greatest gameplay. I just bought it, and I've been playing it. Some of the greatest gameplay still to this day, 7 years later. You know what? We like what y'all did over there. We're gonna tell you we like what you did over there, and we're gonna try it ourselves. Salute, and we doing it because we think that's so fire, not because we trying to steal what you got going on. We think that's so cool. We want to spread more of it, but we're gonna use sex to get people to engage with it. And they use that as a storytelling device too. The characterization of Eve, the angel, because of this is the aesthetic you're going for. So how can I justify this? Because if Shawty was just naked for no reason, like, and it was really just player choice that made her, like, you know, play wear sexy clothes for real or whatever. If you just play with the stock, which I play, I'm not, I don't know. I don't feel like you're a creep if you play with the sexy costumes, but there is a line, and a lot of y'all crossed it. But anyway, it made sense to the story though. It had to do with who she was as a character. That even amongst these androidos, these citizens, you still look like something we ain't never seen before. It made sense in the context of the world. Warhammer Space Marine 2 goes all in on the grim, dark, brutal aesthetic of the Imperium. Then you take Titus. It's a character action game. So we've already developed him a bit in the first game, which had a great story, mind you. And we've got this gameplay loop that we developed 11 years ago. Well, really like what, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. Let's take that. Let's bring that into 2024. Let's be dedicated to that. Let's enhance our PvP and PvE experiences. Like, come on, bro. Let's just update it a little bit. This is what worked. Let's do it even better. And let's take some of the stuff that didn't work. Either we get rid of it, or if we really got to have it, let's fine tune it for the sake of the community around that game, not for the sake of capital. If we do it right, the community is going to support us regardless. And you see what's happening with Space Marine 2. You see what's happening with Helldivers 2. Stick with the aesthetic that you're going for. Be faithful to it. Like, imagine if Helldivers 2 started doing extra stuff like involving xenomorphs, or maybe doing some like Starship Troopers type thing. No, you continue with the parody. Continue with it. Like, keep it going. Go harder with it. I don't know, bro. But I didn't even want to talk this long about capital over community. But enough is enough, bro. Enough is enough. So let me take a quick break. And when I come back, we're going to talk Stalker 2. So just speaking of games, like just speaking of sticking to your aesthetic, speaking of just sticking to your identity, establishing an identity and staying with it the entire time, building on the rapport you have with your community. To me, I am currently playing one of the greatest examples of executing that. I think Stalker 2 is just doing a much better job of handling the situation that Cyberpunk 2077 had in 2020. They did redeem themselves last year, and we'll talk more about how Cyberpunk 2077 was actually the game of the year 2023. We'll talk about that next episode. But Stalker 2 had a problem, to steal my boy on TikTok sauce. This is the thing, man. First of all, this is Stalker 2 is why I think we need to, you game companies need to reevaluate how you are approaching reviews. Like, I don't know how it worked in the 90s when The Legend of Zelda, what was it? Ocarina of Time came out on 64. Like, was there pre-release cartridges for the press or something? Or did they have to get it the same day the game came out, and then the reviews came out in the next issue of the magazine? Like, I don't know how that worked back in the day before review code, right? Me personally, I think all embargoes should be lifted the day the game comes out. I think not media blackout. Okay, maybe IGN will allow you guys to post 15 minutes from our game like a couple days before, blah, 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 blah. GameSpot, you can have a little some. And then this pre-selected list of creators that we've chosen to maybe give access to a slice of the game. You can play a little bit of this, stream this, da-da-da-da. Like, what if Stalker 2 gave streamers 3 or 4 days before release, the streamers of their choice, gave them an access code via Steam or Xbox, whichever of they're choosing, and said, yo, you're going to get access to just the lesser zone. And we just want you to play here because that's the opening area of the game. Just play here and you can stream it as much as you can do in this allotted time, maybe 72 hours before release, right? And then by the time, so your audience can watch it a little bit if they want to, or maybe like a day before, 2 days before, something like that. And just a small slice at the beginning, like especially a title like that where you can explore and go here and go there and not engage with the main part. Because there is a point, it's like, okay, we're leaving the lesser zone and going to the next zone. So you could stay in there and do side stuff and investigate the certain locations and all that kind of stuff if you want to. You can spend the first 8 hours of the game, first 8 hours, 10 hours of your playtime of Stalker 2 in the lesser zone. Something like that. Boom, embargo lifted. So those of you that we gave, whether journalists and streamers alike, if you want to post a review, if you've made a video, because at that point, once the embargo is lifted, the game is out, people can buy it, you can post whatever you want from it. Try not to post spoilers. We're all experiencing this in real time, but hey, the game is out there, so a regular consumer might post a spoiler. But then it becomes, may the best man win. When it comes to your content, when it comes to your podcast episodes covering the game, when it comes to your review videos covering the game, because then it's like some of y'all it's going to rush that game. Some of the people are going to take their sweet time with it. Then you get reviews for Stalker 2 like you're getting, this is review impressions. I've only played 12 hours of that game. No, I'm lying. 10 hours and some change. 10 hours and some change. It'll be in the video clips. I only got clips for Stalker 2 today. But yeah, do that. And then it's like then you got some people whose strength might be impressions in real time as they're playing it. I don't play like a regular reviewer. I still go to work every day. I go to a different job. So my job is not to play games. Then you have the people whose job is to play games. Maybe they get a better context to give you their review under. I don't know. But I think if you got to drop a day 0 patch, you should not let people review the game or get early access code to the entire thing. If you know it's bugged to hell and you're not going to have a patch ready until the day of release, maybe we should chill on the access. Because it seemed to me, and this also seems like a decision made above GSC Game World, I believe the name of the developer is. It seems like a decision made at Microsoft's executive level where it's like, no, we're going to do pre-release review codes because you had 1 million stalkers on day one. 1 million outside of PC Game Pass, PC and Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That's 1 million sold. We knew Stalker had the community because every time we watched a VDoc or anything about that game, they were reminding you that, yo, Stalker has a community that takes it very seriously. This is a hardcore experience. We are maintaining that, but we're trying to bring in new players as well. But we are most concerned with being faithful to that core base. Because when you do that, you get memes like, the bugs in Stalker 2 are anomalies. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like if you treat your community with that kind of respect, first of all, you spent 20 years fostering the community and you're spending the entire lead up to release, honoring that community, even in the midst of your own chaos, you get a release like Stalker 2, which even though it sounds to me like it was just as buggy as Cyberpunk 2077 was when it first came out, December 8th, 2020. I remember the date. It's got a better reception, a better perception in the general media than Cyberpunk did because of how they honor their community. Not to say that CD Projekt Red didn't honor their community. They really kind of betrayed their community in a way because they had built up that cachet and they were there was a lot of marketing for that game that was a little bit dishonest. Are we seeing Xbox One gameplay? Are we seeing PS4 gameplay? Is this like a rigged out PC? Because you didn't give us gameplay for that game until like 2 months before it came out. You know what I'm saying? Like it felt a little bit dishonest. Path of Exile 2 is a great example. Launched today, fully early access. Hey, yo, just want to let y'all know. Appreciate the support. Queue times might be a little crazy. We're very sorry. We're working on it. We're acquiring new server space. Yada, 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 yada. Thank you, though, for being there for us. That's how you engage your community. Now, CD Projekt cleaned up very well because you got, listen, it started to come out. Listen, the board was pressuring the developers to get this done. Developers were saying it wasn't ready, but we pushed them anyway. I think Buddy came out, the CEO or something of CD Projekt. He's still there. He came out in a video saying, this is our fault. This is our fault. Please leave the developers alone. Stop sending them hate. Da 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 da. And like they quickly, by February of 2021, you're beginning the repair process of the perception of Cyberpunk 2077. You know what I'm saying? So I think like Stalker 2 is just an even better example of that, because within the first 48 hours, all of that. This is why I think the embargo shouldn't come up, and like we should really just abolish review codes, period. Is because you have channels, and I can't name names because I can't, y'all got forgettable names, but you got YouTube channels that specialize in walkthrough videos or let's plays or whatever that are coming out and saying, yo, Stalker 2 is the most buggy experience I've ever played in my life. Buggier than Cyberpunk 2077 was at launch. This is one of the worst launches to date, yada, 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 yada. And then the next tweet, yo, here's the link to my walkthrough. Go check it out on the channel. They're going to shit on your game while still trying to make revenue of their own off of the strength of your title. And in their truth, their representation of that game is, yo, this shit sucks, but I recorded every bit of it. Come watch it. No, if you know you're going to have a day zero patch, let me tell you how to avoid that. Don't give nobody access to that game until the day zero patch is available for everybody. Because the people who got that game the day of the patch was riding for that game the day it came out. It's a push and pull. It's a tug of war. You got people who had the game for the last 2 weeks. Some people are trying to be on, like, yo, I love Stalker so much. They made this game in the middle of a war, man. Like, and then I know the day zero patch was coming. So while I was playing, I just kept that in mind. Yada, yada, yada. It's really like, it's an 8 out of 10 for me. It was a game of the year for me. Or, yo, this is so intriguing. I want to keep going with it. Then you end up in a situation like that, bruh. But you are going to have them people. You got to look at these lists that y'all is sending to. Send them to me. I ain't never going to do you dirty, bruh. Never. Never. This is my first Stalker game. There's no way that game would have been that buggy. I called it worse than Cyberpunk 2077 because I played through the bugs of Cyberpunk 2077 because I wanted to experience that game that bad. And I had an Xbox One X, which was the best console that wasn't a PS5 or Xbox Series X. That was the best one to have at the time. If you had a base model PS4, I'm sorry. So yeah, we got to stop giving these folks is getting a little too entitled. They're a little too privileged with the access. We got to cut it out, man. Give people like me, get a small channels of access. Don't nobody want to watch a developer podcast about their game, bro. That's just marketing. That's an extended marketing session. Night City Wire was kind of cool, but we knew it was marketing because we started asking a question. Hey, yo, this look a little too good, bro. This shit ain't going to be like this on PS4. I got a PS4. There ain't no way you can guarantee me this kind of, nah. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't give it to me. Give it to ACG and Colin Moriarty and all that. Give it to us. Give it to us for, yo, hey, you're on our list. A couple days earlier, just play this little section. You know what I'm saying? Do a little stream. Make your little video, whatever, to post day one. Tell us about your experience. There is going to be a day zero patch, so you might not have it. Might see some stuff, but we just want you to check it out, man. And if you like it, if you vibe with it, you can buy it at a discounted rate. Stop giving us shit for free. The whole thing, stop giving it to folks for free, bro. I don't think it's worth it, bro. Because in this age of all this hyperbole, you can't afford for somebody to come out talking about, yo, this is the shittiest game I've ever played, but I want y'all to still watch it. Because you know what folks is going to do nowadays? You know what these scrollers is going to do nowadays, bruh? All they're going to do is watch it. The ones on the outside, the ones that you made some concessions for during development to get in the first place, the ones that was like, ooh, Stalker, immersive sim first person shooter. I don't know. It looks really cool, but it looks a little hard. But I'm gonna try it. But they sensitive. And then someone comes in their face and is screaming at the top of their lungs about how just crappy the game is. Then they never gonna engage. But they got a strong enough community that's loud enough that's gonna get people like me to be like, all right, I'm gonna still play that day one. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna play it. And then it come out and boy. No. Let me tell you about how I feel about Stalker 2, man. Presentation is key in any video game. We're talking about aesthetic. You need to have an aesthetic, establish it, and stick to it. This is one of the most dreadful games I've ever played, shooter-wise, that I've ever played. Like, it's unsettling to move through, but in the most, like, curious way I've ever experienced in a video game. Like, it just works for me. Maybe not for you, but it does work for me. I knew that Stalker 2. See, my thing was this. Okay, when I'm seeing because I told you guys I do like pre-release videos from the developers. So I'm looking at gameplay and I'm seeing, okay, I like the way that gun kicks. I like the animations, the lighting. Whoa, it's gonna run on Series X like this. This is crazy. Just the strength of the aesthetic of that game. Okay, so okay, so this is the zone. Okay, so it's kind of hardcore. Okay, I gotta eat sausages and bread and shit. Okay, I gotta keep an eye on my radiation. Okay, I like this. It's a little more hardcore Metro. All right, cool. Open world. Okay, cool. Scavenging. I like that. All right, that's me. That's my brain. That's how it's been working the last year and a half around Stalker 2. Stalker 2 been in the back of my head since at least late 2022. Like, I got my eye on that game. I don't know nothing about that for real. I've heard of it. I know there's a movie. I got my eye on that. And the closer we got to release, I ain't never seen a game so it just looks so polished. To me, this is one of the most polished Xbox Series X experiences today on December 7th. Yeah, 7th now. It's after 12 o'clock. On December 7th that I've played, bro. Like, and it had me thinking, because I got that PS5 Pro, as you guys know. I did get my Series X for Stalker 2. I didn't wait too long for it. It's like, yo, Series X is a powerful console. Cause I don't know if base PS5, I don't know if Stalker 2 looks like this on base PS5. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't know it looks like this. This feels a little bit different. This feels like a true Xbox exclusive. I know it's on PC, but this feels like a Microsoft exclusive. I miss that, yo. I miss that for Xbox. And I know like they're in a different place now and it's not even about hardware with them anymore. And we are going to get at least one more Xbox. But I do miss, like, Halo felt like it couldn't even exist on a PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there was a point. What's another one besides Halo? What's another, like, Forza? Forza don't feel like it could work on a PlayStation, bro. And they talking about bringing Forza Horizon 5 over to PS5. Oh my goodness. Gran Turismo, by the same token, doesn't feel like it could work on an Xbox. It's the way it's presented. It feels like only this system could run this game. That's how Stalker 2 feels to me. It feels like only the I literally have found myself wondering, like, how is this gonna go on PS5? Even with the haptics and all that kind of stuff, games feel better to me on PS5 just because of the controller. But like, how is this presentation gonna work? I know it can work. It's the same exact button layout, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't look like it belongs on that system over there. Indiana Jones does. Indiana Jones does look like, even though it does feel very Xbox as well, I haven't played it yet, and I'll be able to talk about it next episode. I am going to download it on Game Pass. But yeah, like, I don't know, man. It doesn't, this was something the whole time. Like, my first, like, 30 minutes, I was like, man, wow. Series X? Like, damn. I had to play my Pro again and play a Pro enhanced game to see the boost, because the Series X made me forget about what the Pro is doing. Because Stalker 2 on Series X makes the Series X look like a powerful console in 2024, 2025. I think that's something to be commended. Unreal Engine 5 is not always a hit. It's a hit or a miss. We got a hit this time. And not like in the way I was glazing Black Myth Wukong, because I know like that did have its issues at release. It's not the best running Unreal Engine 5 game on PS5. This right here though, this is a gorgeous aesthetic. It's just it's a gorgeous game. Okay, I'm gonna stop saying aesthetic, but this is a gorgeous game in the most harrowing way. Like, bro, a lightning storm kicked in, and it was one of the most beautiful things I have ever seen in a video game. The emission storms. And the game, I don't have any footage of it, not any crisp, clean 4K footage for you. But gosh, there have been times this game has taken my breath away. This game has reminded me of the fact that the Series X, to me, let me sit up, this is a little controversial. The Series X, to me, in 2020, to me, had the better selling points as far as the technology of the console. Dolby Vision 4K 120 frame per second potential, day one. Dolby Atmos, surround sound, day one. Like, Dolby Vision plus Atmos on a video game? Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's some games on PS5 that would stand to like Stellar Blade, Dolby Vision would be crazy. Oh, that would be crazy. like dynamic HDR metadata. I know some of y'all don't understand that, but Adobe Vision picture is better than an HDR10 picture any given day of the week, any day of the week, anytime, any day is better. And with the way light works in Stalker 2, when it gets dark and you in a building and all you have is your flashlight and the candles that were left behind, or maybe the barrel of fire at the bottom of the, you know what I mean? Like, that's all you got in Dolby Vision. I ain't gonna hold you. That's on an OLED. Stalker 2 is crazy, bro. Stalker 2 is crazy. Just presentation, just visuals, sound design is pristine. It's immaculate. It just as the soundtrack elevates and de-escalates and all that sort of stuff, when you're in an encounter or out of an encounter, all that kind of stuff, like, it's just crazy. It feels like I'm playing the game as if I was like in the world. Like, you have to be brave. Every step you take is a brave step, because it's not like you can get one shot instantly, but it's just like there's something, bro. There's an anomaly over here. There's a bandit over there. There's a freaking dog over here, bro. Like, and it's only so many bullets out here. You only got so much armor on the first 5 hours, bro. Like, it gets serious. I like that feeling. I like a Remnant 2 is kind of called the Dark Souls of shooters, but I like it in terms of like this immersive simulator where it is like, yo, you need to eat, like, you need to find a bed, you're getting drowsy, the energy drinks aren't going to work for you. You got different types of ammo. You need to keep up with that, because you might not need to just let it sing. Don't let that sing. Actually, maybe turn that fire mode to single or burst. No full auto, bruh, till you figure out this aiming, because it's realistic a little bit, man. It's bouncing around a little bit while you aiming down the sights. It's not static. This ain't Call of Duty. I like that. I do really like that. It's tough but fair. And the thing is, the deeper you go into the zone, the better you are at the game. The deeper you get into the zone, the better you are at the game. I've seen some weapons I ain't even touched yet, but I just got my first 416. I think it's AR 416. And I feel a little different. I got a hollow sight that I found, and I put it on there, and it's got me popping off a little different. I really, really dig just the feeling of being in that game. I wrote down, you got to get used to it or just get out. I like games like that. I salute Elden Ring, salute Dark Souls. That's me. Salute y'all boys and girls that finish that game from top to bottom. Salute, bro. I respect that aesthetic. You either get with it or get out. It's other game. If you don't want to play this, if it's too hardcore for you, going somewhere. If this is too much for you, play Far Cry. Far Cry can get a little immersive semi, but it's arcadey as hell, bruh. So you know what I'm saying? You can take some bullets straight to the face till you get your aim right. You can't do that in Stalker 2, bruh. You can't stare your opposition straight down the barrel to their face and not be shooting at them and throwing them off their game. Because you can only take so many shots, bruh. Straight to the face, looking at them, you can only take so many shots, man. Sorry. So listen, get prepared. Be prepared. Eat food or be food. Tuh. Eat food or be food. I do want to talk about gunfights in particular. Stalker 2 is a TV game. It's one of the best, like, because we're in this age of 3D audio on the TV speakers, right? We're in that age now. This is probably the best TV speaker experience I've ever had. And then when I got these bad boys earlier in the week, SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro, oh boy. I ain't even played that game since I got these, but I know how these is coming because I've been playing other games. I know it's going to go crazy. I played with my older headphones that were just basic analog 3.5 millimeter. Great headphone game. Not too heavy, not too heady. Like, not like to me, the sound design is so pristine because it's clean. Like, it's a really clean mix. It's not dirty. It's not like, what's the word I'm looking for, where it's just too much rumble. Like, it's not a lot of noise. It's a lot of noise and distortion. That's what I'm looking for. It's not a lot of distortion. Not a lot of distorted audio. That Dolby Atmos track is super clean. Super clean. So headphones or TV, it's awesome. And this makes for really great gunfights because the guns have some pop to them. And when people are shooting at you, It's very easy to find that direction, and you just got to get your aim right. And you're doing this. It just, man, it's dope when you got 3 people coming at. All right, he trying to flank me. Let me get this person and move over here, and then try to catch him on the move. And you get that one headshot, and you see that little spritz of blood in the air. This is good gunfighting, man. It's really good. Like, if Call of Duty is just peak on rails gunfighting, this is like, because Ghost Recon Breakpoint has really good gunfights. If you turn up the difficulty, the gunfights are really exhilarating in Ghost Recon in third person. But this right here, like, especially for what it is, like, is you versus the bandit, and I know you got that shit on you. I know you got a couple sausages and some ammo on you. Pause. I know you got what I need, bruh. And like, you kind of coming at me kind of crazy, so I gotta hit you with these 2 shells. I gotta hit you with a couple shells, man. I like it, bro. I like it, man. Salute. I like that was, like I said, that was the first thing I noticed from Stalker 2 media, was how those guns were shooting. Mutants, all that stuff to the side, bro. I knew that's a little too scary for me, but I'm gonna deal with that because I like how these guns is shooting. And it's a balance of freaky shit going on and bandits and just like other stalkers. I love listening to the dudes like just talk about whatever. I'm playing the game in Ukrainian. I believe that's a Ukrainian track, and because they're not selling this in Russia, so yeah, it's a Ukrainian track. I love, like, bro, I love it, man. I'm fully in there. I'm locked in. I am Skiff, and Skiff is me. I like that too. I like games like Space Marine 2 with Captain Titus. I like games where you're playing somebody. I don't like listen, I don't want to be able to make my character in every game, especially a shooter. Ghost Recon is really the only shooter I want to make my character. Like, I like when Call of Duty puts me in the shoes of somebody. That's somebody I like, you know what I'm saying? I really like who Skiff is. I like the way he talks. I like his attitude towards people. Another thing that's really helping with the immersion of this game is the dialogue options when necessary. Like, when you're talking to people, you can have conversations, but sometimes it gets a little cyberpunky as far as like picking a response. And I like that. It doesn't really take, like, some stuff do lead you to different choices. Like I'm gonna give, either I can give you this or I can give it to the person that asked for this thing. You know what I'm saying? And like choosing the dialogue option that corresponds to those 2 choices. But sometimes it's just basic conversation. Sometimes it's dynamic in the middle of a cutscene, and other times it's like you approach somebody and this is how the conversation's flowing. I just really like, I know that there are issues with A-Life 2.0 and the entirety of the artificial intelligence of that game, and they're working on it around the clock with hot fixes and all that. And I know it's going to be probably a couple months before we really begin to see the fullness of what A-Life 2.0 is. But as of right now, this is one of my favorite worlds to interact with. Probably the last game where I responded to the world in this way was Cyberpunk 2077. And that is just so much going on. It's a marriage of visual and sound design. Just like in your skyscrapers and your different districts, and the cars flying above you, and the cars flying, like, driving around you, and like, oh, there's a shootout happening over there and I can engage with it or not. Like, that kind of like gets my neurons firing in a different kind of way. Stalker 2 is like the other side of that coin of immersion, where it's like, it's quiet, but this is where you can find like community. And then when you have to go out in that world by yourself, it's different, and it's just you and your heartbeat. And you either take command of that, or you know what I'm saying? You roll over, and the zone eats you alive. Either be a man or you or not. You know what I'm saying? You either get with it or you get out. Get used to it. This is the world. This is how it's gonna go every time you step out of a safe area. Get used to it or get gone. I like that, man. I like that. I do like cinematic games, man. Let's give it up for cinematic games. Also, let's give it up for VRR. You're not gonna be able to see it in the clips, but maybe in some of what I post in here, like, you'll see where it seems like the frame rate gets a little choppy. But I'm telling you, with VRR, bro, it's giving me like a 40 FPS in this quality mode on Series X. Series X is really a beast of a console, man. When I put it in here, I see it has the AMD FreeSync Premium on there. That's not with PlayStation or whatever. It works, man. It works super good. I just forgot about some of the technical strengths of the Series X. And like, I haven't had one for 2024. I haven't had one. I had a PS5 all year. So I had one briefly. My homeboys always had one, and then I had one briefly, but I was like, I'd rather have a PS5, so I just switched it around and traded it in for a PS5, uh, for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I didn't even play that game. The rest is history. Um, Shout out to Stellar Blade and Black Myth Wukong. But yeah, this like this will probably do a better job. This will do what Hellblade 2 was kind of supposed to do, as far as like really showcasing that this is the most powerful base console you can buy. We don't need a Pro, because this Series X is the Pro. The Series X is the Pro for Xbox. And it's fire. Super fire. And Stalker 2 just, to me, really sells the hardware of the Series X. I'm sure this is beautiful on a beefy ass PC rig. But at home, like in this little corner right here with the Series X over there, this is a great, they should be proud of just how well optimized this game is. And just the constant delivery of hot fixes and all that, just getting this game up to snuff, balancing things out. Bloodsuckers weren't too bad. My first Bloodsucker, like I died one time, and I figured them out, like how to, you know what I'm saying? I was figuring out the controls at the same time, the sensitivity and all that. And then by the time I saw my next Bloodsucker, they had updated the difficulty of it, so it didn't take as many rounds to take out, but it still felt fair. It didn't feel like I was overpowered over it. It felt like I just figured them out. But constantly balancing and tweaking this game, I really dig it. And the next game I'm going to get into, playing wise, Path of Exile 2, that's kind of the main thing that has me excited about that game, is just the element of community. There is a correlation between developers that are dedicated to the community and the quality of their games. There is a direct correlation, and it's happening in real time. Stalker 2 is a great example of that. The Indiana Jones game came out today, and just being dedicated to the aesthetic of Indiana Jones and wanting to do right by that fan base has resulted in a game that everybody's saying like, oh, the Game Awards should be in January because of these releases that come out in December. Some people don't think it's Game of the Year material, but there's a lot of people I'm seeing say that. And I think it's just off the strength of how much they nailed that aesthetic. Now, Machine Games is a great developer as well, but I think they were dedicated to who Indiana Jones is and what he has been for people for the last 40, 50 years, 40 years that he's been around. So yeah, listen, capital over community is not the way. In 2025 and beyond, if any developers are listening, if you ever come across this episode, just hear me and hear me well. Community is the key to creating a better game. Find the aesthetic, develop your community, and not around how much money you can get out of them, but just out of create a relationship with them. Stalker 2 got me downloading Discord. I got Discord now. I'm seeing what the developers talking about. I'm in the community. I'm like, yo, what y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all doing? How'd y'all do this? Oh, I did it this way. Oh, yo, go check out that thing over there. On this is the part of the map. I'm not gonna tell you what's over there, but there's something over there. Go check it out. I love that. I love the Reddit and just the Reddit and Discord aspect of some of these experiences. And I think like these games really gotta lean into it. Battlefield, bro, please, I'm begging you. I'll buy Battlefield and nothing but Battlefield if y'all can nail the aesthetic and be committed to the community. You got to commit yourselves to the community. If you're not going to, you might as well get out the way. Right? You might as well get out the way. If you're not going to do it, let somebody else do it, man. That's what I think is happening in this content creation space. And I'm not going to talk about it too much on this podcast episode on this platform, but I think the people who are dedicated to community and to what they are creating versus the monetization aspect, those are the people that are going to win. They're going to get all the monetization. They're going to get all of the accolades or the brand deals or whatever, because they're committed to their community and fostering a community and developing that community and feeding that community. Community going to always give back to you. You give to them, they're going to always give back to you. You take care of the community going to take care of you. Like, come on. Like, what are we talking? Look at World of Warcraft. Well, maybe that might not be a good example. I might just be talking out my behind. But I mean, they've had a massive community for 20-some years. There's a reason for that. Shoot. What's another good? Like I said, Stalker 2 is like like Warhammer. Warhammer is a great example. No matter what iteration or what type of title they're given, it's built around the Warhammer community. And the people who play those games love those games. They review well. Dark Tide just came out on PS5. If it weren't for Path of Exile 2, I probably would have bought that instead, but they just work. So just you got like Ubisoft, I am rooting for you with this Assassin's Creed Shadows. God knows I am. I might as well be praying over y'all sometimes. Just the real community, not the blue checks, not the blue checks. Guys like me, guys and gals like me, bro, that aren't we're not in it. We don't think that our opinion really is so freaking important that it needs to be heard over other people's, but we hope you hear us, when we give you feedback and we say, we like this, but maybe tweak that or whatever. Like, just be there for the community that's always been there for you. Because Assassin's Creed, you got the aesthetic. You got the aesthetic. I'm with you. With the samurai, with Naui, I'm with you. Yasuke and Naui, I'm with you. They're already on my wall. I'm with you. I'm with you on the aesthetic. Just give me a reason to engage with the world, which I believe you will, and be committed to the community throughout the life cycle of that game. However that life cycle is going to go. You already got to step in the right direction. No season pass. We're going to figure out another way. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm supporting you 100%, but lock in. Be yourself. xDefiant was not you being yourself, and that's what happens. And maybe we need to lower these budgets, and y'all will find more success. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. I've been talking for forever. I've been talking for 3,130 bars, and I don't know how long that is time-wise, but I appreciate you guys for being here. Probably about an hour and a half and some change. Maybe, I don't really know. This episode might be. But man, do I appreciate the community that we are creating here. We are growing 100 and something views. I was so geeked out when I saw that on the last episode to have started like 40 some views. And now like here we are. Like if it's going to be consistent, then please God, let it be consistent. And whenever y'all check in with me, I'm going to be here. I'm trying to come up with a podcast schedule. I think every 2 weeks is going to be a manageable thing to do. I'm telling you, I've already put it on my calendar. There will be a 10th episode before the year's out. I want to have done 10 episodes by the end of the year. Not only to show myself that I can do it, but I want you guys to know that I'm keeping my ear to the ground and I have things to say and we staying active. You know what I'm saying? Things have happened, you know what I mean? And it's just been a lot of time for reflection, but today was the best day for me to get in front of the camera, on the mic, and just like engage with you guys. And yeah, I'm just really thankful for what is happening. And if you guys enjoy any of my content, gameplay videos, I think this channel in 2025, I'm just going to focus on streaming games that I want to stream, not necessarily all the ones that come out as they come out, but just whenever I feel like streaming. That will be where you find most of my gameplay content outside of like specialized videos, and then the podcast. I think those will be my two focuses next year. And I'll try to give a specialized video like at least once a month, because I do have one coming this month that I'm really excited about. So yeah. With that in mind, man, y'all just be blessed, be easy, stay safe out there, love each other, protect each other. We are all we got. You know what I'm saying? We are all we got. Don't be looking up for help. Look across. Look next to you. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't, you know what I'm saying, reach out in the comments and just say, yo, you know what I'm saying, keep me in your thoughts, keep me in your prayers. And I promise you, I'll keep you in my thoughts and keep you in my prayers. This is a safe space for gamers of all types, of all backgrounds, and lovers of all genres. So, you cool with me. You all right with me? All right. So, peace, y'all. Take care. I will see y'all next time. Thank y'all so much for watching.